and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to squat. We're going to work on a bodyweight squat, which means all we're doing is using our own body weight to do the movement, and that's it. I find in the gym with clients that the squat is an exercise a lot of people understand and they kind of know how to do it, but they don't know how to get the most out of their body when they are doing it. And so I'm just going to talk you through different tricks and tips in terms of the movement in order to help you and in order to help your squat grow, develop, and above all, get you building muscle. And hopefully, if you experience pain when you squat, we can move you away from that and towards building muscle and burning fat. So the squat is a leg movement. It's what we call a compound movement. It's one of the top 3 compound movements, and it is all to do with the lower part of the body. It mainly works the quadriceps, which are your fronts of your thighs. It will also hit your gluteus maximuses, which is your bum, and your hamstrings, and your calves, and your heels, and your ankles, and all the little bits and bobs in your lower body. It also engages your core, which is lovely. It's good to know. And as you add weights to it, either barbell or goblet, it really starts to work your upper body too. So it's an all-round, full-body exercise that half gets the heart pumping. Okay, so when we set up for the squats, we're going to be looking for your feet to be about hip width apart. Okay, so these are your hips just here, and we're looking for them to, your ankles, to either be directly under your hips or ever so slightly outside the line of your hips. Because I'm quite long-legged, I like to squat a little bit wider. And if you're shorter-legged, you might prefer to squat completely tucked under. That's absolutely fine. There's no right or wrong. As you'll learn, everyone moves differently and everyone has different physiology, very much based on their leverage length, their bone length, and therefore it's going to affect things ever so slightly different. The other main thing when we're setting up is to take note of our toe position. You get a lot of people squatting parallel. That's okay, but if you have any issues, parallel's maybe not the best option for you. How I get most of my clients squatting is I'll look for them to try and get a 10 to 2 angle. It's imagine a clock face. We're looking for 10 minutes to 2 o'clock with their toes. And that's what we want. And then that's going to help direct the knees outwards as we go down. In my experience, the biggest issue with people squatting and their first misunderstanding of the exercise is that they understand that the body has to go down, and in order to create that, they generally go down in the knees first. We need to move away from this, and we need to start learning to break the hips first. Okay? So, when you're squatting, I want you to think of hips before knees, hips before knees, hips before knees. And we're going to have to do an ever so slight, what we call a hip hinge, to go back first, to send our weight backwards, so that we load all the muscles in the right manner. So we're coming back like so. And then once the hips have gone, we start to change the angle in the knee as we come down and up like so. That's what we're looking for in the squat. If you can send your hips backwards, you might feel like you're getting disbalanced backwards and you might think, oh, I might fall over and stuff. That's fine. If you feel like you can counterbalance by sticking your arms out in front like so. But that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the hips to go back first and then the knees will follow to help your descent downwards. I often tell my clients to imagine there's a big bowl of water here and they're just dipping their bum. You just want to tap your bum into that big bowl of water. Like so, dip and up, splash and up. Now there's 3 other key things I need you to think about when we're doing this exercise. Number 1 is your head. Often a lot of people when they squat, they send their head up like so, they'll try and look upwards, they'll try and keep their eyes on something above. What I would prefer to see is that you focus your eyes ever so slightly about 6 foot in front of you. And that will keep your chin tucked under. If you're really struggling, imagine you've got a shot glass between your chin and your kind of upper chest, and you want to keep that, stop that from dropping there. So really tuck the chin in And that's going to keep your cervical spine, which is the upper part of your spine, in the right position as you go down and up. Down and up. Excellent. Another thing we need to look at is the relationship of our hips and our lower back. You'll find a lot of people, they'll squat with really tilting their pelvis up like so, and that will create a lot of issues with their lower back. Really, they're trying to bend it up almost, like out and up and down, and then out and up and down. And we want to avoid that. We want to try and keep the spine as neutral as possible as we go down into what we call the Z position. So you're going to be here like so, break the hips, come down, and notice that I'm just trying to keep this part of my body nice and relaxed. Okay? I'm keeping my core strong, but I'm not tilting or tensing upwards. I'm just letting that natural relationship occur as I come down and up, as I've broken the hips. I'm not thinking about this at all. I'm just letting it sit in its natural position as I go down and up. And then the third thing I'd need you to think about is making sure that we get the hips either level with, parallel to the knee, or slightly below the knee. So we're coming here, and it's this position here. In order for the squat to be effective, we need the knee and the hips to be level or slightly below level, hips slightly below the knees. And then when you do that, in order to stand back up, you're going to have to really push into the floor. Really send your heels right into the floor, and you push down to come up. Rather than just thinking about standing up as quickly as possible from that down position, here, and just trying to stand up as quickly as you can, if you come down to here, and then push into the floor, and really send your weight through your heels, almost like you can wiggle your toes, you'll feel a much more significant difference as you do the exercise. And that's the bodyweight squat. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, then please feel free to post them below. Added to that, if you want to ask me about whether your squat is okay, if you're having problems with your squat, you're still experiencing knee pain or anything like that, then please send me a video, email it to me, and I will of course look at that and help you out. Just a point on that, if you do experience quite heavy knee pain as you do a squat, get your feet wider and get your toes pointing out ever so slightly more. And then you can come out wider and come down and up like so. And that should help the knees ever so slightly. We're then moving more into what's called a sumo squat, which is a completely different exercise, and I will talk you through that on one of my other videos. Right, peace, love and protein, high fives and positive vibes. Ciao!